I want to ask you to take a moment to pause. I want you to consider something. What has depression cost me? Not about your symptoms, not about how long this has been going on. I want to ask about the life you're not living, the things you used to care about that feel far away now, the version of yourself you remember being that seems like it belongs to someone else. Depression doesn't just affect your mood, it narrows your world, it makes the possible feel impossible. And the longer it runs the show, the more of your life it takes. That is what I want to talk about today. Not just what depression is, what it costs, and what becomes possible when you start taking that cost seriously. James Hollis writes about what he calls the unlived life, the life that is ours to live, but that we haven't. He asks, whose life are you living? So much of what we call depression is often the psyche's signal that we are living too small, too far from what actually matters to us. Jung believed that symptoms are not just problems to eliminate. They are often the self trying to get your attention, trying to say, this is not the life. The path out is not just symptom management, it's the recovery of your own inner authority. The part of you that knows what matters, that has been waiting beneath all the noise of the depression. ACT doesn't ask you to think positive. It asks something much more powerful. What do you value? And are you moving toward it, even now, even in this? The people who recover are the ones who started moving toward what mattered and found that the movement itself changed the feeling. Values are not rewards for feeling better. They're the direction you paddle when you can barely lift the oars, and committed action is not motivation. It's the choice to take one stroke towards something real. That is how the unlived life begins to become the lived one. In the work of Cultivating Emotional Balance, we learn that emotions are not the enemy. They are information. Depression often contains underneath it something that needs attention, grief, anger, a longing for something real. Instead of trying to get rid of the feeling and get curious about it, what is this emotion actually telling me? What need does it point toward? When you start to read what's moving underneath the surface, you begin to find your way back. Jung wrote about developing the inner authority, the part of the self that knows what is true and what is ours. Most of us have been outsourcing that authority for years, to the depression that says not today, to the old stories. And the real work is the gradual reclamation of that authority, learning to trust your own sense of what matters, learning to distinguish between the voice of the depression and the voice of the self. That is everything. What does my soul want from me right now? The river of your life has been moving this whole time. You don't have to be downstream in the unlived life. The tools exist. The path is real, and it is learnable by you, wherever you are. This channel is Navigation Tools, all oars. Subscribe if you're ready to start. It begins with one question, and in one breath, your mind, your oars, your river.